Okay, welcome back, everybody, to the Black Diamond stage. Everybody having a good day so far? Those of you who are here, good. Well, we have another exciting panel here. We're going to get into the trenches here in just a little bit with the Trochi team. But first, we want to thank our diamond sponsors for this particular stage and for the show. Cabo, Bricks, DB, Eagle Creek, Osprey, Pelican, Headgrin, 24/7, Cotopaxi, Delsey, and Eastpak. Yeah, you can give a big round of applause to them. Yeah. Okay, so here we're really sort of going to have a fireside chat, just a little conversation on why Trochi Luggage has partnered with Lady Pink and how artistic collaborations enhance your brand storytelling. So in this talk, graffiti artist Lady Pink and Trochi Luggage will reveal how their partnership blends art and travel gear together to create this really unique and engaging product line. And you'll discover how creative collaborations can really elevate your brand storytelling, drive engagement, and set brands apart in such a competitive landscape. So I'm going to introduce our panelists here. First, we have Lady Pink here to my left. She's a pioneering graffiti artist, a muralist, a cultural icon, renowned for breaking barriers as one of the first prominent women in graffiti, rising to fame in the 1980s hip-hop scene with her work now spanning to museums, galleries, large-scale murals, inspiring generations and advocating for women in street art. So let's give it up for Lady Pink. Very happy to have her here. And we also have Jorge Miranda, who's the VP of Sales at Trochi, and he brings a wealth of expertise in innovative travel solutions with a deep understanding of modern travel needs. He has helped position Trochi as a global vendor of luxury brands, high quality and moderately priced hard-sided rolling luggage. So let's give it up for Jorge. Thank you for being here. All right, so let's sort of get into it. How did this collaboration even begin? What's the story behind how both of you partnered up here?
I've had this idea for quite some time, maybe over 5, 6 years ago. We were going to do something a few years back, but pandemic hit and things were put on hold. It was another grant. But here we are again, something I've been wanting to do. I reached out to Lady Pink. Once again, we spoke. I explained to her what we wanted to do with Trochi. And it was a yes from her. And I was very happy that she accepted it. So that's how it all started.
So were you looking for a particular artist, or were you looking for a graffiti artist? How did you settle on Lady Pink here?
Right. So I've been a big fan. I grew up in the 80s, and the graffiti and all that. I've been a big fan of graffiti, and Lady Pink always stood out. So I said one day I was going to call her up, see if we could do something, and here we are. I've always loved graffiti, and I haven't seen it much in the luggage industry. So I said, let me start, this trend's out there, I get that. But I said, let me try to start set the trend with the graffiti. Hey, why not? Lady Pink is well known all over the world. So here we are.
And Lady Pink, what was it like when Trochi approached you with this brand collaboration? I'm sure you get a lot of offers.
I do get a lot of offers. As you know, street art is one of the world's biggest art movement, and everyone wants to put out some kind of a product or something so that they can profit from it, of course. But it has to be quality products. Since they are collaborating with a real artist, I can quality control their products, and I feel that they represent me. So it was an easy collaboration when they requested some of my work on luggage. I love the idea. They're so cool.
And how does the collaboration, how does your artwork sort of add to the brand's identity, especially it being, luggage?
Well, it is the market that we want to focus on, the buyers, young people, they'll see it hip, it's cool. They are definitely, as most companies are looking for our street credibility, that the market niche of very, very cool people around the world don't want boring colors and don't want standard run-of-the-mill, everybody has this suitcase kind of suitcase. I posted it on my Instagram, and the reactions I'm getting from people is what I expected. They've not seen this. They love it, and they gotta have it. So, and that is the market that we're looking for.
And Jorge, what is sort of the end game for you? I mean, you're a fan of Lady Pink. You approach her to collaborate with Trochi. What's sort of the end game?
Well, the end game, first of all, I call this art on wheels. There's a lot of people out there that love art, graffiti, can't afford the actual painting. So I said, why not add Lady Pink's designs to our luggage? Travel with where you like. And it's just a different avenue for traveling, I think. And for the luggage industry, I think it's a whole new thing with the graffiti. I hope I can start something new, and not just for us, but for everyone else that would like to collaborate with an artist.
So Lady Pink, they approach you. You're going to sign on to do this collaboration. What was your creative vision for the collaboration?
My creative vision was using some of my fine art, but in a way that would enhance their brand and meet their needs and not compromise my style in any way. So I altered a little bit of my fine art pieces that are long and sold or are sitting in museums and fit the luggage quite well.
And Jorge, when it came to her creativity and her art, did you have any sort of requests or boundaries when it came to that?
I actually did. I'm a big fan of graffiti on the train, because that's what I saw when I was a kid, seeing the big graffiti people art on the train going by.
Like physically on the train or train tracks? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, physically the train is going by, you see the graffiti. So I requested that. That's one of the first designs I wanted. She had something like that, and she said, okay.
So we talking like 1980s style Bronx? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So,
I got you.
Yeah.
Amazing. And that was like the inspiration that you said, hey, this is what I love. Like, let's go to town with this.
Yeah, again, I was born, I lived that era, so it's something that I have in me. And to do this, you have to love it. That's why I picked Lady Pink, because that's what I felt. And I think a lot of people have that same love for that graffiti, but I just don't see it out there as much, so why not? So it was something I wanted to see.
Yeah, man, it's certainly unique. Now, okay, so you bring on Lady Pink. You're going to do this collaboration. We're talking graffiti art. When it comes to the functionality of the luggage, we're here at the Travel Goods Show. We see lots of wheels. We see lots of zippers. We see lots of handles. How are you still sort of maintaining the standards to the functionality of luggage, even though it's, covered in this beautiful art?
Well, that's a simple question. I mean, a simple answer here. Functionality doesn't change. It's simply the art, what you see on the piece of luggage. That's the only thing that changes. That's what gives it. That's what gives it life. It makes it unique from every other type of luggage you would see out there. But Trochi stays the same.
So did you then become sort of a gearhead and get obsessed with luggage as you started this process? Now that you're partnering with Trochi here?
No. I do lots of projects. So, and my assistant, the graphic designer, is the one who put this together. I do not get incredibly emotional about projects. So, I don't think I became a gearhead about luggage in any way. So, I mean, that's a weird question. Okay, so I did test their luggage and took it on a nice long trip to Turkey, a couple of weeks to test their quality before I would agree to sign up. So, I think I became a luggage lover then.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Gearhead, luggage lover, that sort of thing. Obsessed about all the little features.
Well, I do travel loads and a half for decades, and I have a passion for my luggage. It better not slow me down. It better not make me look bad. So, I guess I've always loved it.
And like you mentioned earlier, that had to be part of the requirements to whoever you were partnering with, right?
Yes, quality for sure.
Now, is the art also on the inside of the suitcases? So it's merely like the cover pieces and...
Just like when we painted on the subway trains back in the day, it's just on the outside. We did not alter the functioning of the subway trains. They still ran fine.
I love that analogy. We're still sticking to the Bronx here.
Yeah,
very good.
Lady Pink.
Now, what were some of the biggest challenges that you had? I'm sure it's not all a bed of roses when you're trying to, launch this new series and this new collaboration that's so artistic. What were some of the challenges that both of you had during this process?
One challenge was the development, like the film, making sure that design is properly placed on the piece of luggage. So that was one. Actually, that was like the only challenge we had is that, and that there on, everything that was a bit more.
So some technical, scientific, sort of like
Just a
chemical.
friend on the
Yes.
making sure it looks exactly as what Lady Pink set us and how she wanted. Once that's done, she'll review it. She'll say, okay, that was it.
And what were some of the challenges you had?
Some of the challenges did not involve running from the police or anything like that. So after that, it was just easy going. Well,
Very different than spray painting like a train or a wall or something like that.
well, yes. Some of the challenges initially is, agreeing on a contract, agreeing on how the company is going to treat an artist. A lot of companies feel that artists should work for free. Artists should work for cheap or just for the honor of collaborating with our wonderful company. How dare they?
You can say arrested with honor, right?
Usually insulting. Yes, you can't take honor to the bank, let me tell you so. Artists are now getting what they're due, and respectful companies are treating us well. It is in our contracts, it's in our agreement, it's in the product itself, the end result, and all you can see the respect. And that's important. So some of those challenges that we are still educating folks that artists, have means and we should be respected.
So really quickly, when it comes to that sort of stuff, retaining IP, and you have your own trademarks, you have your own IP, how do you sort of hold on to those things for yourself?
An artist owns their work always and forever, and those are the laws of the land. So when we license out an image, we have full control of it and we have full payment. This painting is owned by a fella that lives in Switzerland, but I own the image always. So I can, although the physical object is owned by someone and lives elsewhere, I have the complete rights to sell this image, alter it, and do whatever I want with it. So, it's pretty easy. And yes, an artist should know their rights. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So what piece do we have up here?
It's my subway car.
What we've been talking about so far, right? So we see the inspiration there. We're back in 1980s
Like a train.
Brooklyn or the Bronx and the hip hop lifestyle.
It's the old school.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm one of the pioneers.
That's fantastic. It looks amazing. It's very unique looking. And I see all your tools there at the bottom.
Yes, there's a milk crate that's on fire. There's a little story behind that as well. It was not a safe thing to do. I mean, vandalism is vandalism, but, we started a worldwide movement as teenagers, not knowing that we were starting a movement, but here it is, almost 50 years later.
I mean, that's sort of the great thing that what you're doing, like, hip hop is American culture. And when we travel, we somehow take our culture with us. And in your case, our culture is literally right on the suitcase. And if I'm in Mongolia or if I'm in, Paris, somebody's going to see my culture through Lady Pink. And that's phenomenal.
Yes.
Love that. So, okay. So Trochi's an established brand, good quality stuff. You're here. How do you balance maintaining your brand identity, even though this screams Lady Pink on the outside?
Well, we do have our core collection that represents Trochi themselves, and that would be our signature collection we just unveiled this year in today's show, which is the hummingbird, which is our brand logo. So we balance that out with our core solid colors and also prints. That could just, a bigger selection for the buyer to come in.
So in a way, are you using this artistic collaboration to further prop up and enhance your core collection then?
Of course. Well, this wouldn't be our core collection. This would be our top tier collection in this one here. Core collection would be just solid colors, or basic colors. So that's how we balance the whole thing out. And then we have our own fashion colors for Trochi themselves.
Nice. Now, how's everybody reacting to this?
We've gotten good feedback. Again, graffiti I know is not for everyone. But once you see it and you start, and that's the reason why I wanted to do this. I want people to educate themselves on seeing this is art. It's not just the Mona Lisa that's considered. This is art. This takes time and being on the train tracks and doing this. That's even harder. You're more pressure. You're not in the studio just
Right, like she said, you're not going to be arrested.
take away. Exactly. So imagine that. When I was a kid, I would ask myself, how do they do it? Because they literally did this. I mean, I don't know, minutes, but it was just fast. And with all that pressure, you got to ask yourself, how? I would not have been able to do that. I'll be that honest, I can't.
And how has your audience reacted? You have other brand collaborations, but like luggage is pretty mainstream. You know, luggage is sold just about everywhere these days. Is your audience receptive to the luggage brand?
Definitely. My last collaboration was I did an umbrella design for weathermen. So that is also a utilitarian item, and now it is most sought after. And they had to do international shipping because people were going crazy for it. You just don't see this, and it is unique to have an artist-made object. I mean, I was friends with Keith Haring way back in the 80s before he passed in 85, and his motto was like, you know, it's okay to commercialize some of your fine art because, you know, people need it out there. Everything else that is out there is just cookie cutter, boring ass stuff. You really need some real artists. And who is it that we're worshiping? You see stuff by Frida Kahlo. You see stuff by, you know, folks from a century ago. Come on, get with the times. People are a lot hipper. You know, the audiences are a lot smarter than you give them credit for.
Now, have you seen an impact on brand engagement, sales, or brand perception at Trochi?
Well, again, this was just unveiled now, so I wouldn't have those numbers for you currently. But people that pass by, they love the artwork. It's to them.
What are people telling you about the luggage?
It's unique, different. They even pass by our booth. They say it's just your booth is different. It's so colorful, you know. So we've had good reception to the whole thing.
So then, beyond luggage, what can other travel goods brands sort of take away from a collaboration? If I don't have a luggage brand, but I sell other travel accessories, what can a brand like that take away from such a successful partnership like this?
I mean, as Lady Pink mentioned, the umbrella collaboration she had done, I think when you collab with an artist, it helps the brand, you know. It helped. The artist is already well known, but it's just another way, another avenue of bringing out the product. You know, it helped with the company in general.
Any last words here before we open it up for questions?
No, I'm good.
Yes. What questions do you guys have there in the audience for Lady Pink or the Trochi team?
So, George, you see this being sold in like stores in Soho, like specialty luggage stores, mostly high-end consumer?
This will be, I'm the soul. Everybody, you know, New York Soho is a very good artistic type.
Well, great. It looks spectacular. Good luck.
Awesome job.
So, in terms of the piece, are there more than one designs? Okay. So when you first started the collaborations, how many designs were you sort of contracted for? Did you start off thinking that you would do?
I started off doing at least 2, and then we decided to go with a third one, which is just my tag, which is nice and simple, just the tag itself. It's very elegant and understated, but it is still a graffiti tag, and it's just ultimately very cool. A graffiti tag is when we just put up our name very quickly, like one of these. That could be a tag. It takes very seconds to do. It's one color, but it is a signature, and it's stylized, and it is very unique to each artist. And you could actually tell what region they're from. They're from the Bronx or from Brooklyn or from France or Australia by the nuances of the fonts and letters. It is that precise. You really have to practice before you can bring it out, you know, in public. So
In travel, sometimes we talk about different niches in travel. It seems like graffiti also, and you know, art has their own niches, and graffiti, even within graffiti, there's a niche there. Now, are there any other plans to go beyond the scope of luggage or follow up with another line?
Well, currently working on the next signs. for next year. So yeah, there is.
Even here without the dollars.
Right. Look, I want to. Like I said, I like to follow trends, but sometimes I want to set the trend myself. And sometimes you have to think out the box. Just got to make a move. If you don't know what's going to happen. So I'm all about the wow factor.
Right.
Be changing things up every year, with designs, something new, bring to the public. That's key.
Any other questions from the audience? Yes, question there.
So about the burning milk carton, like what's the story behind?
Oh yeah, the burning milk carton story. What is that all about?
Well, on one of the painting missions, I saw a milk crate of spray paint explode and catch fire. It's sitting on a third rail, which is electrified rail, and if you touch the third rail, you will die. So it is covered by a weak little piece of wood, and when you put, literally the spray cans are explosives. They're under pressure, and they come into contact with such high electricity, and it just exploded and was burning. It flew up. Spray paint went flying all over the place. It just missed my friend like a missile. I thought he was going to get hurt, but so that was a little bit of an experience there in real life. It was never quite safe to do the vandalism. Kids died doing it. So, we were a special kind of crazy people at that time.
All right. Any last words from you, Jorge, about Trochi? What should we know?
Well, just thank you for having us here. Trochi is up and coming. We're going to bring a lot of exciting things the next few years, and we'll be around.
And what about you, Lady Mink? Any last words for the audience?
Well, this has been an exciting experience. I've never been to a trade show, but this is thrilling, and I'm loving it. So the feedback we're getting from people, from shops, from social media, it's unexpected. The kind of love folks are saying, that is something that I didn't know I needed, but I totally need it. And I'm glad that we are filling that niche for folks. I think this is going to go far, and I hope that other companies here see fit to collaborate with artists, because this is what everyone is doing in all kinds of products. So get in there.
That's great. Thank you, Lady Pink. Thank you, Jorge, for being here and for your time and for your insights and letting us know how this wonderful collaboration came about. How you're just spreading this beautiful art throughout the world. Thank you. So tomorrow we have more programming on the big show stage. So we'll have Chris Burkhardt here, the Bucket List family, so that amazing YouTube channel, Jackie Norris, Diane Fitzmaurice, and Jennifer Broom. And then also tomorrow we have the Creator Awards and trip giveaways, so don't miss out on that. So we'll see you tomorrow on the big show stage. Thank you.